guys? It's your boy TG, and yeah, bring it from the bottom. Boy, that sounds really good to say it. One more week, and I'm almost getting close to probably where next week I'll probably gain a pound or two from a turkey leg or something like that. You'll tell me what may happen. Hey, but welcome, and thank you for joining Craig the Leg Peterson. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, and the viewers that are trickling in here. Thank you guys for tuning in for your many devices, Apple, and so on, wherever you find podcasts. But look, let's get right into it. Look, sports last week, I don't even want to get into that conversation. It ain't even that time. It's time for Craig the Leg Peterson because we talk about football all day, folks. I really, really would, but I kind of scratching my head and just hoping that next Sunday at the Green Bay Packer, it turns out to be better. I really do after seeing that Steeler lose. But anyways, Craig, how are you doing, sir?
Hey, man. First of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the show, man. I really appreciate it coming on here and, kind of, sharing wisdom, knowledge, and just talking football. It's always good.
Oh yeah, it's always good to talk a little bit of football. And then when football season ends and you got basketball, I kind of sit there and go, hmm. It's like, what do I do now? And then I find out somebody else to break from the NBA or something to come out and talk, and I'm like, it's just not the same.
It's
But
not.
I still go with the flow, and I'm like, I need football back. And then the USFL comes on talking about they're the real guys and real football's finally here. And I'm going, wait, what? Wait, time out. Somebody help me, please. And look, to my viewers, I'm going to tell you this. To my viewers, please, anybody, somebody go find Cam. And Craig, you probably like, who is Cam? Cam's my co-host. He's been missing. No, not actually missing, but pigeon carrier, anything. I don't care if you send out like Morse code. Go find Cam. His Giants are still not winning. He's not came back on yet. I do got another special co-host coming out. I'll tell you guys that another day. You'll catch that probably Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Day, I'll drop a video. You'll see who the new co-host of Good Got Your Entertainment. He's coming out. Craig, you actually know him. I'll tell you off the script who he is. But back to you, Craig. Tell the viewers who are watching. They're trickling in. They're saying, "Hey, watching. Hey, you're in. Oh, might have lost them. Oh, you're back. Had a little technical issue there. Craig, tell them who is Craig the Leg Peterson.
So just to keep it short, my name is Craig Peterson, formerly known as Craig the Leg. Actually, not formerly. It's still we're still grinding here. We're still playing. We're still getting after it. Just a hometown kid out here in Albany, New York. This is where I grew up. This is the city. For me at least, where it all started, especially with my first field goal over at Albany High, where it really all began. And, I used to play soccer, a long time ago, it feels like. Three different teams. I was on the travel team. I was on ODP team. And then, I had the high school team, too, as well, where I went to Burnt Hills right here in New York. So, it's a nice place. I don't like the winters personally, but, that cold weather can stay up here. I like going down to Florida, during the latter months of the year. So, but this is still home to me. You know what I mean? This is where my friends are. This is where my family's at. And, right now, obviously it's where I coach as well at RPI football. So it's RPI University. It's just like, it's home to me. I was fortunate enough to get a job here at RPI, right in Troy, New York, which is about 15 minutes outside of Albany. It's only about, 35 minutes from Burnt Hills where I grew up. So, it's nice, but who I am as a person, I mean, I guess, that's another story, but, just growing up here in Burnt Hills, Albany, New York, formerly a soccer player and, playing professionally for the last 10 years. And, that's in a nutshell. I'm a guy who loves the grind. I love the journey, and it's really all about, your passion and what you're passionate about. And to me, that's football.
See, look, I'm gonna tell you this, guy. So, Craig says that he's just an Albany kid, and then if you ever look him up online and you see that you have a Wikipedia after you or made up, or you're doing something. I don't have a Wikipedia yet. I hope I get there one day. Somebody's gonna create one, I guess. I don't know how that really works. Anybody that watching, please go out there and tell Wikipedia.com or org or whatever the heck they are. They need to make a profile on TG. But Craig, to go further with this, Craig has not only won two-time champion in an NAL, two-time champion in an IFL, and then he has some other like accomplishments and awards. He can go. We could be here for a whole segment just talking about the things that he's done. Not only of that, I mean, this guy's a coach. What else do you do? I'll be here all day in the intro to try to figure out. Me and Craig known each other for some time, but look, I'm going to tell you this, folks. The guy acts like he's just a guy from Albany, but the guy has Craig, and then in the middle, the leg for a reason. So I got to get right into that. So I know the viewers are chiming in. Some of them are talking about the NFL teams. I don't even know. Some of the NFL teams I don't even care about that I'm seeing in my comments, like the Vikings. My dad's a Viking fan, and I give him trouble every time I get on my show. And those Dallas Cowboys don't even get me started. But Craig.
Don't get me started on that either. The Cowboys, man. Come on now.
Look, we're going to talk about that later because I got a game tonight that I'll ask you about, and I might ask you about those Dallas Cowboys. I go on my rant, but to ask you about it, you didn't speak it, and then the first comment here, but the leg. How did you come up with that? Where did that come from? Was it just like you kicked the ball and here it is, and that's your name, or is it like is a more better story to it?
There's a better story, obviously, but yeah. So when I first started playing, obviously I needed to start somewhere, and I think that's what you say, like who I am and what I am. I'm just another person. At the end of the day, where everyone's just another person. People get like starstruck and oh my God, it's so and so. It's like I don't know. I just never really been like that because when I finally was in the spotlight, I still treat everybody like I am another person. I think that's why people really, relate to me more is because, wow, this guy is a professional athlete. He's really cool. He's down to earth. He gives us the time of day, like he's signing autographs, whatever it may be, taking pictures, hanging out. And it's just, even some of the fans, I even, play Fortnite with some of the guys that came to the games, some of the kids that went to Guilford College over in Carolina. So stuff like that, man, it's a blessing at the end of the day, man. It's just to be in my position and to use my platform and to use football the way I do. It really is. It's a true blessing to be able to give back, because I know where I came from. You know what I mean? I didn't play college football. I didn't play high school football. I wasn't a Division I prospect. I didn't go straight to the NFL. So it's really, I hate to say it, use the word cool, It's just, I like to say something better, but it really is. It's cool to be able to give back in that way. And it's so rewarding because, like I just said, I know where I came from. And to be on like a platform, that type of platform and to be able to give back. And, kids look up to you, man. Like I'm a role model to a lot of people nowadays. And that's a really good feeling. And it is rewarding to now be a kicking coach as well. And to be coaching at the collegiate level is even more satisfying, just to be able to give that proper tutelage to kids out there that need it. You know what I mean? To be able to give back like that, man, it's priceless. It really is. It's priceless. So at the end of the day, I'm just another person. I look at it a different way, and I was raised to always be humble. That was one thing that my mom always instilled in me was to be humble and, let my leg talk for me. You know what I mean? Let other people talk for me. And I've always had that mindset. So, who is Craig the Leg? I mean, that's a name that I got with my leg. It all started at Tampa Bay Storm, the AFL. I guess it's back now today. It came back. So, hey, who knows what's going to happen there? But it all started with, our games were played on ESPN. So that was really nice to have, that kind of platform. And our game was on ESPN. And I forget what team. Well, I think it was the New Orleans Voodoo. And I kicked a kickoff over the net. So we have these big nets that you have for arena football. For those who don't know, they're these huge rebound nets. And, I don't even know how I think 32 feet high. But
I believe so.
At the end of the day, so 30 feet too high, but it's also 60 yards away. Yes. You know what I mean? So it's 60 yards away, 32 feet high. And I kicked a kickoff over the net. And I've never seen another kicker do that in the game. And I did it. And apparently on the stream, the broadcasters were going nuts for Tampa Bay because it was a home game. And my buddy Nick Muccio calls me up, and we usually talk after the games. And he's like, dude, he's like, the announcers were going crazy when you kicked the ball over the net. And it was nuts because I was like, oh, really? Because normally I do watch the games afterwards just to see, I like to critique myself. I like to see what I could have done better, not just on VidSwap. So we get our VidSwap, but then I do like to see what, the announcers kind of say and what just kind of what transpires throughout the game, even though I just played it. But it's surreal, It's like, oh, I just played a game on ESPN. Oh, now I get to go watch it. It's kind of cool. So he was telling me the announcers are going crazy over this guy kicking it over the net. And I'm a rookie at the time, so nobody's heard of me before. You know what I mean? The only I guess, experience that I had was a year prior where I got invited to training camp with the CFL Ottawa Red Blacks. So that was really not a lot of people knew about me. So this kid just kicked the ball over the net. He's like, I never seen that before, Jack. I was like, oh my God, that's kind of cool. So he's like, bro, he's like, they're like, man, he's got a hell of a leg. He's like, they might as well call you Craig the Leg. And I was like, hey man, that's pretty good. I kind of like that. That's catchy. So ever since he said that, I think he posted about it or whatever. He's like, Craig the Leg kicking a ball over the net, and somebody posted it on YouTube. On YouTube, it said, Craig Peterson bombs kickoff over the net. And then that was my buddy Brad. So after that, man, I ran with it, and then it started to catch on. People started using it. So after people were starting to use it, I started to hashtag it. Other people were hashtagging it. Then announcers were calling me Craig the Leg, like Craig the Leg with the kickoff or Craig the Leg with the extra point. So just kind of it just took off, man. So, and obviously it's catchy. Craig the Leg is just is the name now, and I'm fortunate enough where it's catchy enough to where it did take off. So that's where it came from, and we just kind of ran with it after that. So props to my buddy out there for coming up with a good one. So appreciate it.
For sure. Look, I had to ask you that off the record, and folks, you want to know, I do introduction calls with all the individuals that I bring for interviews, and I'm like, so Kirk, how did they start? And he laughs and he tells me the story exactly the way he broke it down to you guys. And I was just like, I like it. And I saw the video. You actually go to YouTube and you actually go search it. It'll pop up. You search his name, it'll pop up. That's all you got to do. And you can see it. You'll be like, what? And then the individuals that may not know arena football, it's a total different beast in NFL. It's a total different beast in XFL. These are dogs in the woods. I'll be honest with you. I went and coached an arena with the Rough Riders, and I was just like blown away because I was like, okay. You see the talent in NFL, you see the talent here, you see the talent there, and you go to these guys, and you're like, whoa, you're in a hockey ring. I mean, with no ice. There's no out of boundary for you guys. It's either you hitting the wall or you may go over unless you go down. It depends on where you're at. I mean, hey, look, I've seen some brutal things happen in arena football. I got a ring. I'm in the club. I'm in the club with you, correct? I'm in the club.
You're in the club, man. You're in the club. That's where it's at. But people don't know this, for all the viewers out there, they probably don't understand entirely the kind of players that are in arena football, man. I played it with a lot of guys that either played in the NFL or play in the NFL now, or were started in the Arena League and then played in the NFL and then came back. Guys went to the CFL, came into the Arena Football League. Guys that were in the Arena Football League went to the CFL. Listen, man, there's lots of talent out there. It's just a matter of being seen by the right people.
Oh, for sure. And all different levels. I mean, not only the extreme that you played on the larger stages of arena. I mean, even those lower stages, you see some talent from the NFL, whatever. I mean, They're all walks of life, and it's very amazing. If you haven't went to an arena football game, obviously it may not be like the back in the day where the guys were at the Hall of Famers. Craig should be a Hall of Famer. If you think Craig should be in the Hall of Fame, let them know so I can send this to the Arena Hall of Fame so they can at least give this man props. You should see the stuff that he does. Go check him out on Instagram. Go check him out on all social media.
No.
Not done yet. It's still great things to come. And look, I got some viewers that actually say they watch it. I'm looking over here at my other device. They said it's exciting. They've been to games. They're watching. They have been to games that I've been a part of. And winning a championship in there, it's just, winning the championship in general, being in the club, not many people get to say that. But Craig, as we jog through your career, Can you share some strategies and techniques that you use as a special teams member or just a member of a team in general to get yourself ready for a game? Because I know y'all got to be out there warming up. I mean, y'all get so much time in the itinerary to be out there alone before you start swabbing kicks over top of people's heads.
So, that's a great question, actually, because if you really think about it and you break it down, I never had any high school or college experience. The only kind of, I guess, real experience in life is, playing sports at least, was soccer growing up. And then I did track in college. Track's different. That's a whole different beast, man. It's like, one race, one throw, one jump, a couple actually get like 3 jumps. So it's not the same. And I think, like, from a mental state, I never had to deal with the pressure in college or high school. So the pressure was completely different. Obviously, yeah, there's a lot of pressure situations taking penalty kicks in soccer, which has happened before. I went to the Nike International Cup as a 15-year-old kid, freshman in high school and or sophomore in high school, and having to deal with that. And we were in a shootout there, and we ended up getting 4th place out of the 8 teams that were invited. But there's a lot of tournaments I was in, a lot of penalty kicks that I've taken, pressure situations, and honestly, it all comes down to your training and habit, right? How do you practice pressure situations? So for me, it's always taking those penalty kicks, right? It's like, oh, we have to, we make this, we win the game. Putting that pressure on yourself, doing kick after kick after kick again, making sure that every kick is the same, right? What do you do for field goals? It's the same kick every time. So a penalty, that's why I like to relate penalty kicks to field goals, because it really is the same kick. Yeah, you can put the ball, somewhere else in the net, but guess what? If you could put the ball the same place every single time on a penalty kick, guess what? The keeper's probably not going to get it, judging by the speed and your accuracy. So field goal is the same way. And I think that because, with my soccer background and then not having to deal with, pressure situations in college, I just went into it like, I'm just going to go out and do my thing. Like, I'm going to go out and kick the ball. You know what I mean? I'm not putting pressure on myself, which brings me to the next thing. It's like people ask me, like, are you excited about the playoff? This is your first playoffs. This is your first championship game. And I'm like, honestly, it's just another game. It's just another game to me, because if I go out there and do my job at a high level, I'm going to succeed and I'm going to help this team win. So I'm not putting added pressure, more pressure on myself, to do better, because I already expect, perfection for myself. That's the bottom line. I'm already expecting a high, perfection for myself. So with that being said, it's just those kind of pressure situations, I don't let myself get too high or too low into a game. And, during the course of a game, hey, listen, no one's perfect, man. People miss. Yeah. So I've had games where I may miss an extra point. I might miss a field goal. And whatever that may be, I completely forget about it. So I think it was my 4th game. It was my 4th game going in, and I was with the Tampa Bay Storm. It was against the San Jose SaberCats. And I remember being on a bike, because we actually had the opportunity to have a bike, like one of the riding bikes, in the tunnel. And we used to average about 13,000 fans a game in Tampa Bay. So I'm in the tunnel. I'm on the bike. I'm just kind of staying warm. And that's another thing a lot of these fans don't know about. We don't get to kick during the game. The only time we get to kick, there's no warm-up kicks, man. We get to go out when you got to perform. You got to go do your thing. They don't care if it's a 58-yard field goal or an extra point. You got to stay warm somehow. So it's my 4th game. I'm on the bike, and I remember we scored a touchdown. The place is going nuts, and I come out of the tunnel, and it's just like it all hit me, man. I'm like, this is crazy. Like, this is pretty cool, man. And I'm just looking around. I'm like, we're playing on, I think it was ESPN2, and I'm just looking around. You know that in the back of your mind, because guys that know they're on ESPN that night, they're practicing their touchdown dances pregame. They're that shit. So I'm coming out, and I'm like, man, this is amazing. Like, the atmosphere was electric, and we had the buzzer thing, because it's in the same place where the Tampa Bay Lightning play. They got the buzzer that goes on. It's electric. So I get out there, hit the extra point. I'm like, it's a phenomenal feeling to be a part of. And I think that through my time playing with the pressure, the big kicks, you know what I mean? So my first field goal attempt actually, and I hate talking about this, but I enjoy talking about it because it made me who I am as a kicker. I feel like it made me who I am as a kicker. It was against the Orlando Predators. It was week 8. And it was a week before, it was the week after our bye week. So it was the next game after our bye week. I was having a great season going up to that. I ended up having a really good freshman or rookie season. It was my first field goal attempt. We don't really kick a lot of field goals in the Arena Football League. My first field goal attempt, and it was to go up 10 in the game. And there was maybe 5-6 minutes left in the game. And it was a short field goal, man. I get so angry. So I can probably seal the game with this field goal. And I ended up hitting the left upright. I was on the right hash. I hit the left upright. And that it still bothers. It really does. It bothers me to this day. But Dexter Jackson, I'll never forget it. Dexter Jackson, our MAC linebacker. We had a party that night. We ended up losing the game in overtime, by the way, so that's where it stung even more. And I actually put that game on me. And as a rookie, I was like, you know what, that's my fault, guys. Like, I got to make that, even though we made so many mistakes. We were up 20, I think we were up 21 points in the fourth quarter. That's a lot. We should be able to end that. But with that being said, we ended up losing the game in overtime. I ended up making that extra point in overtime after that. So for me, mentally, I was able to come back from that, right? It's like, forget about that. Able to come back, hit the extra point. Dexter Jackson makes fun of me. And this is a good story, actually. We're at my place, and I got a guitar or whatever. Everyone's playing cards. You know, everyone's doing their own thing. And Dexter says, yeah, if Craig could only made that field goal tonight. This is a big dude. That's a big dude, bro. Dexter Jackson is a big dude. He's, 6'3", like 280, 290, big dude. And I'll never forget, I take my guitar and I slam it over the table, break it, smash it.
Oh.
And I said, and he was like, everyone was like, should we leave? And I look at him, I said, I won't miss another field goal this year.
Oh, look, it makes you scratch your head at moments like that. It makes you scratch your head. Now, look, I will ask you this because the viewers got a question for you. What's your longest field goal? It not even attempted, but made
in the arena, in the arena, or just outside messing around?
I would go with both of them where they can know what your capability of.
Okay, so in the arena league, like, I hit tons of deuces. Deuces are kickoffs, right? Yep. And that's essentially a 58-yard field goal, but the uprights are actually higher in the Arena Football League. They're 15 feet high instead of 10 feet high. And I made a million of those things. So, in fact, I hold a record in the NAL for most deuces in a season and most deuces in a game. But for an actual field goal, I was with the Spokane Empire, and it was a 55-yard field goal. No, I lied. It was 56 because it was at the 2-yard line. So 56-yard field goal. I actually have a ball with the coach, Adam Shackelford, gave me the ball at the end of that game, and I have that ball, and it has the 56-yard field goal record on it because it was a franchise record as well.
Wow.
So that was a 56-yarder, so I kicked it from the 2-yard line.
Wow. And look, if you don't understand arena football, which most of the viewers do, it's one of those things where the field – the length of where he's talking about is 56 is regardless of where you're kicking in the NFL or not. Well, I'm just saying 56 yards is 56 yards. And they asked for both, so you did give both, and that was great. So they greatly appreciate that. Now, this is where I've been kind of just in my thoughts about it, kind of scratching my own head. Now, we had this conversation offline, and I definitely want you to clear these things up. Many sports watchers watch football any given week. They go to watch their team if it's tonight with the Bengals and the Ravens and the Ravens nest, if it's on Sunday coming up, if it's on Thanksgiving next week. And we did see the Buffalo Bills game against the Broncos. And it segued into it. I had my phone lines blaring the other night because they're like, we can't wait till you get Craig going because we got to hear what he got to say. And then not only that, I just, like you know, with additional pressured situations that you get into with the game deciding field goal. Or extra point, depending on where you're located. Now, walk me through that moment of the pressure, like you said, applied. And then not only that, take us through the moment of like watching your steps, counting your steps, your footwork that goes into kicking a field goal. Because people just think, oh, that's just a guy. He has one job. He's going to go out there. Either he's going to shake it because he can't kick. It's just a foot on a ball. That's all they know.
I mean, so I was trying to explain it before. I got a little off track, but that happens.
You're fine.
So with pressure situations, it really comes down to doing the same thing every time, right? You got your 3 steps back, 2 steps to the left. What you say to yourself, before you even start your steps, you look up at your target. You envision the ball going through the uprights, right? Everyone's different. I pick out a spot pregame, right? That's why we go on pregame so early. We're picking out spots, certain spots on the field. I know what I'm aiming at. Where are my aiming points? And then it's really just going through your progressions. If you're a really good kicker, no moment is too big for you, right? You're not thinking about the moment. You're thinking about this kick. That's it. You're thinking about this kick. You're not worried about the hold. You're not worried about the snap. You're thinking about what you need to do to hit a good ball, right? And that's where, when you practice over and over and over again, you watch hours and hours and days of film, you know what you need to do to hit a good ball. You know what I mean? You do it so many times, thousands and thousands of balls, that as long as you just go out and perform, right, at a high level, which is what you're used to doing, and you're accustomed to that, you will hit a good ball. Now, there are times where, we may not hit that good ball. And there's other things that factor into that. Wind, cold, what your body's feeling like, all different kinds of things. But, as long as you're prepared for situations like that and putting yourself in situations like that during practice, you should be able to go out and perform at a high level. Now, going to the game, you go with your steps, right? You go with your form, your technique. It's a game-winning field goal. It's a game-winning field goal, but are you thinking about that? Are you letting that mentally affect you? And there's kickers out there that does happen, right? And there was a lot of kickers, I think there were 6 game-winning kicks this weekend for field goals.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you look, and break down to you. Look, going talk about game-winning field goals. You talk about the Bills and Broncos game, and the Broncos are playing pretty good football. I don't know what the heck turned around in their locker room in the last few weeks, but it has. And Russell, for the first time, I don't know if it was him and Sierra sitting in Waffle House having a conversation. I don't know. That might have been one of the waffles flipped, and it just turned his mind to say we're going to start winning football. I don't know. But you get if you got enough money to rent out an entire Waffle House for your lady, then kudos to you, because I don't. But no, talking about that game, the kicker missed 2 extra points. He had redemption chance. He got down the field from, I believe, about 40, 45, and he shanks the kick to the right. But 12 men on the field.
41 yards.
41. Okay, 41.
So I look at it from both aspects, right? I look at it from the defensive coaching standpoint, because guess what? The special teams coordinator is the guy that brings the guys on the field, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Why is there 12 guys on the field, man? Why is there 12 guys on the field? As a special teams coordinator, how are you allowing that to even happen? How are you allowing that at the highest level? A game-winning kick. How are you letting 12 guys go out on that field? And then he misses it. He misses the kick. He misses wide right. Now, to the kicker, Will Lutz, I believe it was the kicker. He was, I think, 4 for 4 on field goals that day. So with that being said, he still missed wide right? 41-yard field goal. He was on the right hash. He missed wide right. Judging by, just me looking at the kick, there's no give to it. It was a true kick. He just missed it wide right. Okay. How do you let 12 guys on the field, man? The Buffalo Bills, and they fired Ken Dorsey. I don't know if you know that. They fired him.
Wow, I did not know that. I did not know that. Honestly, I did not.
Now, that's the offensive coordinator. That's not the special teams coordinator. And I don't know who said what, who sent the guys on the field. I'm always assuming it's the special teams coordinator. But I don't know. Maybe it was the offensive coordinator, and he got let go, man. But
my thing is here, would you think in a moment like that, I mean, you can't call every play perfectly, but you would think for Broncos, if they get a scratch of play off right there, you got the clock's going to expire. You know they're going to come up with something like that. Like in a coach's mind, you should be thinking, man, I need to have. I mean, that's an arena football, regardless. You're like, I need to have my special teams. You guys, next play, if Russell don't make this, everybody on me on the hop because they're going to change the transition out in regards to a penalty. And I mean, the game was won for the Bills at that point. And then I see the flag from the back judge, and I'm going, oh no. And then I'm like, I already knew what it was, but my dad rung my phone line. He's like, what? What's going on? And I'm like, they got a 12 man on the field. They gave the guy a couple more feet. Gave the guy a couple more inches to get the ball back. And just like anything else, you give a quarterback an extra shot, you give a kicker an extra shot. He's going to make it. He's to punch himself all kind of mentally in the brain, like, dummy, why did you miss that? And he's like, if I get a second chance, and then he saw that flag, and he's like, he's probably kicking himself in the butt, but then he's going, all right, this is it. Now, if he would have missed that the second time, I'd be like, all right, he had to go. I would have been like, all right, somebody go call Craig. They need a new kicker. They need a new kicker. Get him out there.
You're not lying. You're not lying. And you have to make that at that point. You're 5 yards closer. Now it's a 36-yarder. You're still on the right hash. I just feel like if you can't miss that kick. Now, it's like you got a warm-up kick. You pretty much got a practice kick. And the whole unit got it too. You know what I mean? So your snapper's ready, your holder's ready. Everyone got a free kick. So, you can't miss the next one. That's do or die at that point.
Yeah, that's a now for you. No, let me see. If you were the Broncos special teams coordinator at that point, he misses that kick, and I mean he had some trouble throughout the game, missing some extra points. However, do you have a conversation with him where you like, you won the game, I let you breathe?
I think, obviously at the end of the day, they're all professionals. We're all professionals. Yep. So, what are you going to tell him differently than what he's already thinking? Because if it was me, I already know that I've already forgotten about that kick. So there's nothing that you're going to be able to tell me as a coach to be like, oh, like, you did this wrong, or you did, like, I know what I need to do. And that's why I said, at the end of the day, we're all professionals. So I don't think there's really anything that you can say to the kicker at that point. It's like he knows what he needs to do to keep his job. Yep. You know what I mean? He knows he's here for a reason. He's here for a reason. That's why you also can't go away from the kicker too. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to know that he's going to come through clutch for you, and that's the reason why you signed him. That's why you believe in that kicker. That's why you signed that kicker. So at the end of the day, it's you've got to believe, you got to trust in him, and even though he missed, it's like, okay, we're going right back at it. We know we've done this. We've seen you do it at practice, and let's go make this next field goal. So, as a special teams coordinator, it's you have to trust the guys that you got, that you put on the field, and you talk about it the next day in film. That's when you break it down and talk about it.
Speaking of that, the Vikings will travel up to Mile High Stadium to play the Broncos. 8 o'clock on, I believe it's Sunday. We'll see that. We'll see if the Vikings can try to catch up to the Lions and kind of hold them back a little bit, or will the Broncos keep on winning? I'm kind of calling that the Broncos keep on winning. I'm a Packers fan. I am very sour right now towards the Vikings. I'm crying every week. But in the meantime, so you've been on the athlete side. And now, not only still currently being an athlete, because it's not, the cleats are not up, guys. The cleats are still active, and they're still ready to rock and roll, waiting for the next season. And now, not only that, as I see it on your shirt, RPI, you're there as a special teams coordinator for the university. How has that changed your mindset? Not only going from still being a player, and I got another guy. Before I give you that, there's another guy named Anthony Prevost. You probably heard of him. He's like a little Army Swiss knife. He played with the Rough Riders. He went from kicking a field goal to potentially being a receiver to potentially being this, potentially be that. And he just clinched his first CIAA championship with the Virginia Union University. He's currently the special teams coordinator there. I'm going to actually ultimately, in the meantime, bring you guys back as a special teams panel with some other members. But to get back to your question, to go from an athlete to now a coach and kind of being a mixture still, just like Anthony is. How has that changed your mindset of not only the game, but the position as a whole?
So from the aspect of obviously being, a kicker
Mhm.
on a team, you're not thinking about the political, the business side, right? Why certain things are happening. And, now that I've gotten a taste of that, I understand why certain coaches make the decisions that they make and how things can be a bit political. You know what I mean? Over, other, I'm sure it's way different at Division I colleges. Like, let's be real. I
Oh yeah,
mean, I'm sure it could be, it's crazy, where, Penn State, USC,
oh yeah.
all different, all those colleges, Oregon.
Don't even get me started on Michigan and Jim Harbaugh over here stealing signs. Don't even get me
Yeah.
started on that.
So I'm sure it's even the political side, at least. I'm sure it's even crazier. And I'm actually going to touch on this. I haven't talked to him yet. I worked with a kicker. He's at Ohio State. His name's Parker Lewis. Great
Okay.
kicker, phenomenal athlete, big kid. I've known him since he was in like 8th grade. And he transferred from USC. He was a starting true freshman at USC. And he's been at Ohio State now. He portaled to Ohio State for the last 2 years. Hasn't played a down. Hasn't kicked at
Huh.
all. And I haven't talked to him yet, and he's supposed to call me. So, Parker, if you watch this, you better call me, boy. Seriously, I need to hear what's going on. And I'm curious because why is he not kicking? He's a phenomenal kicker. He's very strong, and he's accurate. I'm dying to know that side of it. Now, remember, that's Ohio State, right? We're a D3 school. We're a great program. RPI, love the program. We got great facility, great coaching staff, and just an amazing culture that they built over there with Coach Isernius. So it's great to be a part of. But now that I am in the system, and coaching now, I see certain things and why they happen. Why certain decisions are made. How things come to fruition during the beginning of camp and throughout the season. It's actually it's really interesting. I love it. And to be a coordinator, either here or somewhere else or a Division I, II, III program. I mean, it's just nice to be a part of something. You know what I mean? To build something great, and to come back to RPI, I think it would be great. I haven't gotten that call yet. Obviously, our season's not over. We have a bowl game on Saturday against Widener University, and hopefully, we can add another ring to the collection, but also just win a game for the seniors. I for me personally, I think that's what's priceless about it. I think that's what means more. Put the ring aside. These seniors, man, it's their last game. The super seniors too.
Oh yeah.
It's their last game playing collegiate football, and that's what means a lot. I started to understand that. Especially with the culture here, is these kids love football, man, and it's all day, every day. It really is. And knowing I didn't get to experience that, it sucks. But at the same time, now that I'm able to coach and being a player professionally, they respect the hell out of me, man. And I that speaks wonders to these kids. And I love that because, when I talk, they listen. You know what I mean? And when I say something, they try to do that. And when I'm telling them, they put that to good use. And it really is a respect thing. And I enjoy that being a coach. And, Coach Peterson, Coach Leg, Coach Craig the Leg, whatever it is, man. I love these kids. And it really is about giving back. And it all goes back to what we started with, where, I'm still a human being. I'm still a person, man. And like I said, to be able to give back like this, it's so rewarding. It's great. And the coaching aspect I'm very passionate about it. Obviously, I still love kicking, and I think it's even better from a college standpoint, from these kids seeing that I can do it. I think is even better. Side note on that, we're at Hobart 2 weeks ago. It's an away game, and we're punting pregame, and a couple of guys are on the sideline, and they're like, hey, Coach Peterson, why don't you hit one? I was like, okay. No warm up, no
You had to
nothing.
go out there and show them.
I got shoes on. I'm at the 60-yard line. I'm at the 40-yard line. So I end up I caught a snap from Ryan, our long snapper. Ryan O'Leary caught it, got it off. Perfect spiral punt, goes in the end zone, dude. Probably like a 60, 70-yard punt. So I was like, okay. And they were like, oh, he really is Craig the Leg. Like on the sideline, man, it was great. So just being a part of that, man, is like I said, it's so rewarding, and being able to give back to these kids. This game is huge for them. So, I had to talk about that real quick. I'm sorry.
That's funny.
A little off topic, but these kids mean everything to me, man. And just being able to see them win football games, have a winning season, and hopefully, bring home the Scotty Whitelaw Bowl would be great.
Oh, that'd be perfect. And you have to come back and tell me about that. Look, because I know I'm going to have pre-bolts on later, and I have to bring you back. Y'all all sharing these rings. I don't even know. My ring is somewhere. Probably, I don't know. Probably got a little dust on it. But it'll come out here and now. It'll come out here and now. And when I go out somewhere big, or I got somewhere where there's a lot of lights, it comes out. It gets a little clean. It comes out. It's the only one that I got. I hope I get another one, but it hasn't happened yet. But in the meantime, talked about that, and I greatly appreciate you for sharing that, because it's the next generation. Ultimately, if you don't impact it for yourself, you're doing it for the next guys. And like you said, this could be their final game ever playing, and they could go to arena, or they could get called up. Who to know? Who to say? The XFL. I mean, all these different leagues are coming around, and they're giving opportunities. Because at first I was going, XFL, will you really get opportunity? And
Right.
not like that, but just like, would you get to the pros or get to the NFL? And sometimes it's not always about getting to the NFL. You can have a successful career building in an arena, building in the CFL. You can build it all the way around it, even across seas. There's other leagues. I guarantee those guys are dogs. I'd be scared to go across seas and play football. Their definition of football may be a little bit different. And not talking about soccer either, because people that's out there not knowing the difference when I say football, that might be a conversation for another day. But also share me this moment, because I know you've been a part of multiple different teams and coach now, but interacting with the fan base, what's a memory or a conversation that you probably had? I mean, being in an arena, they can almost grab you from running down the field if they really want to. They'll probably get escorted out by the cops, but getting that close to the fans.
So, there is a lot, like, let me tell you, there is a lot of fans out there who love arena football. They live and die by it, man. And we used to do so much, community work, just things around the community. We've gone to cancer centers, we've gone to hospitals, just met all different kinds of people, gone on like these turkey trot. I used to go on when I was with the Storm, meet people there, just to kind of walk for fun and do it with a bunch of kids. And it's that is the other part of this, right? It's like, take the coaching out, right? Now you're a player again. And you look at it like how many people you can be a role model for. Like, these kids look up to you like you are a professional athlete, right? And to be able to hang out, just chill with, do anything, like whatever it is, go somewhere, have dinner. I mean, there's fans. I mean, there's so many fans. To pick one or two out is hard, but I can pick a group so Carolina, probably this is crazy. So Carolina Cobras 2018. We had all these kids, these high school kids, these seniors. And what they would do is they would dress up. They would have their own night, like their own dress up night. So they'd all dress like, it'd be like a throwback night, it'd be like Army night, or it'd be like prep night. Like, they're all dressed up in like shirts and ties, or like Army clothes. One was like Hawaiian night. They all had like these Hawaii looking clothes on, these throwback shirts. So it was so cool, man. And they made these Craig the Leg posters. And they would obviously have the Craig the Leg chant. Bro, speechless. Just these kids come in every home game and just scream their lungs out and just are a part of the game. And they're right behind our bench, or they're right next to our bench too. So it was awesome.
Oh, they're right there. You can't get away from them.
Yeah. So just a quick story. The night that I broke the record for most deuces in a season, I jumped up into them, right? So I jump up, and they pick. They're kind of like the at Lambeau Field, where they just like that, man. And Craig the Leg, and it was epic time. I'll never forget it. It was like my 20. I don't even remember. It was my 20-something deuce, because I ended up breaking the record, but I think I had 30 on the season. And it was just, it was a surreal moment, man, just being a part of that. And as soon as I hit it, I straight up ran right to him, man, because I was on the other side of the field, ran straight to him. That's just a great moment, at least from the fan side. And then there's another from Tampa Bay Storm. His name was Chris. And I ended up, being really close with his family. And we would do all different kinds. They'd have me over for dinner. They ended up moving to Kentucky, and they actually came to a game in Columbus, Ohio, when I played in the NFL for the Columbus Destroyers. So they used to live in Florida, and then they moved to Kentucky, and still, was able to come out and see a game of mine. And he's a big kid now, dude. I mean, Chris is doing all kinds. He's a big dirt biker now, and doing all kinds of biking, and he's doing great things. And I know he wants to be a pilot someday. It's just,
wow.
The kids that you meet, man, the relationships that you develop with them is on another level, and it's very rewarding. And I'm a role model to these kids, and it feels good to be able to be in that position because you're able to give back, right? You're able to do things that you weren't able to do, with the platform that I have now. So it's just something that I cherish, and the fans is a part of the game, dude. It really is.
Oh yeah.
And that's something that you can't take that away. You can't take that away. So COVID, I mean, Jesus, that just destroyed everything. It's, we didn't even have a season in 2020, and you can't have the games without fans, So, the fans mean everything to me, man. Wherever I'm at, shout out to all the fans out there, who've always showed me love and taken me in and had the dinners, the parties, the drinks, all that stuff. It's just it's another aspect of arena football that I'll never forget and that I cherish closely.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I have a few stories myself, but we'll be here for a whole nother hour telling stories. We had the horsemen at the Rough Riders. They were these guys that had horses or stallions because the Rough Riders was a stallion, and they had these helmets on their heads. I remember every game. I don't care if the water boy ran down the sideline. They were cheering him on. And these guys, I mean, I got photos for days of them guys. I mean, it's just an arena football alone. That's one thing I'll say that arena football does great at. If they do, if anything else, you do a lot of different great things. But the fan base and getting close and connected, that's a different beast. NFL, you can't do that because you're far. You're about 30 yards back from the field, like screaming for a player that don't even never going to know you're there. But if you have somebody, regardless of their NFL experience or not, you can get close to them. You can get relatable with them, and then oh, when I come to the game, those players may know who I am because I was that guy with the stomach, letting the shirt up, and it had somebody's face painted on me. I don't know. You'd be surprised what you may get at an arena football game, or who may know you, or the people that follow you. You'd be like, who is this guy? And then they're waiting on the outside of the arena for you to get an autograph. You're like, that was creepy. Let me get in the van before they try to rob me. You never know. You never know.
You're right, but you do. You never know.
You never know. So one of my two questions, I got two more questions for you, and they'll close out tonight. Now, I got a lot of parents that got athletes, and this show right here alone, it's very rewarding. As I've done it since for 5 years now, and I have a lot of families that watch, and a lot of parents that have children that probably either go from pee-wee football now, probably hitting off a tee in baseball, maybe all the way up to the high school, college guys that are on collegiate teams. And right now, high school football, it's in playoff weather right now, and playoff conversations, which my alum or my alma mater, EC Glassback in Lynchburg, they're going after JF, which is actually a crosstown rivalry in the woods of Lynchburg, Virginia. They're going head to head this Friday. I will not be down there to see it, but I will keep up on the live stream, hoping that they clinch their championship again. It's one championship. There's another one. High school football goes to so many different championships. You get, if you got a ring for every one of those, you don't have to worry about going to the pros. You have a lot of rings. But my thing here is for the athletes that are watching, for the parents that have children that's probably watching with them at home right now, right before the game kicks off tonight at 8:30. What's some advice that you would give to athletes that are coming up right now?
In high school?
In high school or all over. They could be, straight out of pee-wee. But, what advice would you give to a young athlete or a young individual that's just trying to be great?
So I'm gonna start with the parents real quick, because I feel like, let your kid be a kid at the end of the day, and let him try and, like, obviously, yes, you want to, you have your parenting and all that stuff, but like, let him be a kid at the end of the day. Like, I feel like a lot of parents nowadays are trying to get too involved with the coaches that want to coach, and let them do their job instead of, why is my kid not playing, or this, that, and the other, practicing, whatever it is. Like, let the coaches coach. I just want to start with that, because nowadays parents are getting way too involved in what the coaches are trying to do. And it's like the parents are trying to be the coaches. Let the coaches do what the coaches do. That's why they get paid to do that. That's why that's their job. I just want to start with that, because sometimes I love passionate parents too. Like, I don't have any kids, but I feel like, I've got nieces and nephews that, I'm passionate about them, like, being successful and doing what they need to do. But I'm not out there. My brothers aren't out there like, this is no, like, let the coaches coach. I think my brothers are coaches as well too. So they get that aspect. They understand, like, what's going on from the parents too. Cause I get to hear about that during Thanksgiving and Christmases. So, a lot of the parents, man, they be coming at the coaches in high school. Besides that, for the athletes, up and coming, trying to, be successful and play at the next level, the college level, work ethic, man. It's all about work ethic. What are you doing to try and be better every single day at, whatever you want to do? You know what I mean? I mean, it doesn't really necessarily have to be a sport, right? It could be an instrument. It could be anything. So from the athlete side, what are you doing to get better every day? Like, how is your work ethic? Like, are you breaking down film? Are you talking to the coaches? Are you asking them what you could do to get better? And I think, that speaks a lot of these kids' character, man. Like, what they're actually doing, outside of practice. Are they in the weight room? Are they trying to get stronger, faster? It's the little things that add up in the long run for them to be successful at a higher level. And I think that speaks a lot about kids that, are constantly working, and then grades come on top of that too, because obviously you have to have a certain GPA, to be on these teams and, to be able to participate at the college level. So I'm sure it's the same way in high school. It's about getting good grades, performing at a high level, having good work ethic, and just developing those good habits, right? Eating as little as, eating right, lifting right, getting sleep, being respectful. All the coaches look at all those things. Like, your character is huge, man. Like, how you talk to other people, right? That you don't need to, talk all that slang to coaches. You want to be respectful. You want to talk in a professional manner. So I think that's important. I think that's a big thing on being noticed. I think what is the one? So I read this somewhere, or I heard it, is a coach ended up really liking this basketball player, right? Big prospect. So what he did, he actually went to a game that he did not play in, just to see how he was on the bench. Was he active, cheering his teammates on, right? Good job. Great job getting involved, talking to his teammates. And he didn't. The kid was like, I'm not playing, like, I'm not involved in the team. And they ended up not giving him a scholarship because of that. Wow. He purposely went to that game that he was not playing in to see how he reacted and how he was, as a teammate. And that really sat with me. And now obviously it hits me even more being a coach, because that really is, it shows your true character. Like, when times are tough, or if you're not playing or you get benched, like, how are you going to react to certain situations? And that also builds your character. So, and I've actually witnessed that this year. There's a kid that started last year at RPI as a kicker, and he was benched this year, as a sophomore to a super senior. So, and it really does show a kid's true character in being well to adapt to the situation and wanting to get better as an athlete. So to all the high school kids coming up, man, what you can really do is show the coaches your work ethic and your true character by, if you're put in certain situations, how you're going to react and adapt to those situations.
Wow, that's powerful. Look, my last loaded question for you tonight, and you answered all of them to the T. You kicked the ball and scored every time tonight. But
That's good.
I asked this question. Last but not least, what's your why? What motivates you? Look, that question gets a lot of people. I ask that thing everywhere, but everybody goes, I didn't get to think about it. But what is your why? What motivates you?
It's everyone that said I couldn't do it. It's everyone that said I want to be a professional athlete. It's crazy. My dad didn't even think, he didn't want me to try and pursue this career because it's not. I don't know if he didn't think I was good enough. I just didn't think that he thought that it was possible. So when I said that I was going to go out and try to become a professional athlete after that night in Albany, where I hit a 50-yard field goal randomly, there was a lot of haters, a lot of doubters, a lot of people that I thought were friends that obviously weren't close friends of mine, and then obviously my true friends stuck with me from the very beginning. They agreed with me. They're like, you can do this. You put your mind to it. And I've always been a firm believer that you can do anything that you put your mind to, as long as you have that good work ethic. That's why I love using that, because it really is the basis of how you get to do things at a high level. What kind of work ethic do you have? There's laziness and there's good work ethic. Like, what kind of person are you? So at the end of the day, my why is like, it's proving people wrong, but it's also me knowing that I can do anything that I put my mind to, and then my mom is another why. Like, why do I do this? Because, obviously you want to make your parents proud, but on one hand, it's like, I want to make my mom proud. On the other hand, it's like, I want to prove my dad wrong. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And obviously I've got, because my mom's always supported me throughout this entire journey that I've been on. She has been nothing but 100% supportive. And, I thank God for that, because, without my mom, I wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? She's been the rock. She's been the person that's, you can do it. Like, keep going. And, not a lot of people even know about this. Like, I missed my brother's wedding for a workout I had with the CFL team with the Toronto Argonauts. And that was a long conversation I had to have with all my brothers. And, at the end of the day, they also are very supportive of me and chasing my dream of being a professional athlete before I was. So to have that kind of support from your family, it means the world to me. And, just being able to go out there and actually do it is another thing. And for them to be able to see it, and now their kids can see it. You know what I mean? It's like, this is my brother, and this is where he started. My niece wears number 19. My niece wears number 19.
There you go.
That means the world to me, man. And just them playing sports, it really does. It hits home with me hard. And, my why is it's so many, it's different on so many levels, and it's for so many different reasons. And it's for all the kids. My why is also for all the kids out there that people tell them that they can't do it. They can't do something. Why are you going to allow someone to tell you can't do something when you don't even know that you can yet? You're going to have someone tell you that you can't do something. So my why is for all those kids out there that, that people have told them over and over again, you can't do something, and then they go out and they do it. I hope I'm that motivation for those kids out there, because a lot of people told me I couldn't do it, and I have done it. I've been to the top, and to be coming from literally nothing, the bottom, no experience, nothing, the rawest kid that you could that you can find out there with no football experience, and to make it to the top is just, it speaks wonders, and that's why, again, we go back to work ethic. It speaks a lot about my work ethic, my character, my integrity as a person. Like, everything is molded into this, person that I am now, and this professional, this role model, and a brother, everything now, an uncle, and the journey keeps going, and, you keep adding things, a coach now, you keep adding things to it.
Oh yeah.
And the why becomes bigger and more. It's crazy, man. Everything's starting to manifest, because once you let it manifest and you can do something, it's like that self-fulfilling prophecy, man. It's all about that. And, to be able to have that come to fruition and, have your dreams come true is on a whole nother level. That's why people like it, talking to me about it, because I'm passionate about what I do. It's it's an amazing feeling. But in order to, I guess to be able to give back is such a rewarding feeling at the same time. Not just for myself, because it's like, I knew that I could do this and now I've accomplished it, but now I can actually give that back to people and share this. So it's a blessing, it really is.
Perfect. Look, I have to shout out because if you remember, Mook Zimmerman, Coach Mook, is in the house. He has
Let's go,
shaped in.
baby.
Look,
Let's go,
he has
baby.
typed in not only TrustGoode but Craig D Leg in the comments, and it's always good to hear from Mook. If only I could do it as good when they hit the crowd Mook, and it just the rumble of the crowd. And then not only say the least, that guy coming out with that the Ric Flair robe. And
Hey, that guy's got a mean
hey,
beard too, man. He got a mean beard.
yes, he is. The dude is the biggest guy. Look, I couldn't even never try it out. Never try it out. Seeing him get off the ball in my time at the Rough Riders, I was like, look, you can go put a helmet and some pads on back there, and you're on the defensive line. I'll hold the fort down while you're on the field.
He's fresh too,
Now,
man. He's fresh.
yes, and I think he's actually still in the realm of coaching and arena football. He's still in the mixture of getting back. And I mean, the dude can literally hit the field tomorrow, and he would never miss a step. And that his son, Dallas, the big guy, his son coming up. I remember seeing him just being able to be held, and now he's out there on the field, hitting rips and tucks with Mook and on Instagram. So it's always good to see when the youth comes up. And then look, I couldn't leave you without this tonight. In moments from now, you have the Bengals and the Ravens fighting off in the AFC matchup. Who you got winning this game?
I got the Ravens winning 24-21.
24-21. Hey, look, I'm going to say this because we're talking about special teams members. That bad man and Justin Tucker, he can hit from anywhere. Look, he's in my fantasy, and every week I sit there and go, well, if it comes down to it, Tucker will kick me like 30 points. I mean, of all things, like you can put him from anywhere. You can put him in the nose, please don't kick a ball. He'll kick it. He got it. He got it. That one season he didn't do so well, I was just like, what's wrong with you? Look, I had him on my fantasy. I go, what is wrong with you? But he even knows it. I mean, it's just some in general. But yeah, I think tonight those Bengals are playing questionable football. The Ravens are in an area where they are just the running back department has been depleted for the last 5 years. They just never catch a break there. But they got that rookie kid back there. I did not know his name right now, but he is lighting it up. Last week I had him sitting on the bench of my fantasy, and I'm going, man, I need to win. And then after late that night, I'm going, why did I not put him in? He scored like 15 points. And the back that I put in scored like 2.9. I was like, are you kidding me? And so now this week I'm going, if I put him in, he's probably going to score 2 points. This will be the week. Then I make the transition now. But Ravens, I'm going to say this. Ravens, I'm going to say this. I'm going to let you have it this week. I'm going to go Craig on him. Normally, well, if you're looking at FanDuel right now, if you got two people on the show and they're both agreeing with team, go against them. Go against with the Bengals tonight. But I'm just saying. It is what it is. Look.
I don't know, man. The Ravens are at home too. They got the home field advantage. The Cincinnati had to travel. It's just, the little things, man. It's the little things, especially being a player. Some guys don't travel well. Everyone usually plays better at home. You're in your own environment. You're in your own realm, and that's it. I got to tip my hat off to the Ravens on this one. I got to tip them the favor. 24-21. I'm going with it. Sticking with it.
For sure. So that's a wrap, folks. Again, Craig, thank you for coming out to Goode Dutch Entertainment. It's always a pleasure to see you again. We always talk on social media and Instagram. You can find Craig the Leg there. You can find TG there. Just to give you a little update, that game has kicked off on Prime Video, brought to you by Amazon. And not only that, the Ravens just walked in a touchdown with Gus Edwards. He just returned off of a brutal injury last year. He just walked into a touchdown 7-0 in Baltimore with 10 to go in the first. quarter. But again, Craig, thank you for coming out. And to the fans and to the viewers, we extremely are grateful for you joining tonight through all your devices and tuning in to Apple Podcasts and podcasts alike. As always, folks, it's a pleasure to entertain you through your devices. And thank you for your time. For the cast of Good Got Your Entertainment, I'm your host, TG. I'm saying so long, good night, and see you next week.